If you're responsible for writing Postman tests, you understand how important it is that you can interpret the test results accurately. Even if you're never going to write a Postman test in your life, it's still important to understand the expected behavior of your API and when it's not expected. So whether or not you're running your tests in the Postman app, from the CLI, or in the Postman cloud, let's learn how to interpret those test results. If you're following it along at home, I'm here in this public workspace called Test Examples in Postman, using this sample collection called Review Postman Test Results. To follow along at home, you can review the documentation over on the right sidebar here, and you'll want to fork the sample collection to your own workspace so that you can make your own updates and save your changes. And then for each request in the sample collection, you'll send each API call and then inspect the code that's in the tests tab on the top under request and the output under test results for the response on the bottom. Let's do this together. So the first thing that we'll need to do is load up our first request and hit send. On the bottom, we're used to looking through the response body, but if you tab over to test results, you can see that Postman says 3 out of our 4 tests have passed. You see a couple tests down below and 1 failure. So to understand what Postman is testing, let's go under the test tab on the top where we created our request. If you've never seen a Postman request before, or a Postman test before rather, this is what it looks like. It starts with pm.test, and the first parameter here in this JavaScript is the name of our test. In this test right here, its status code is 200. And then the second parameter is going to be a function that contains assertions like pm response to have status 200. And the status code that was returned is indeed 200, so that's why this test passed. So this test right here, written in JavaScript, corresponds to this test right here that is passed. And then the next test is called response time is less than 200 milliseconds. It looks like that we did send that call in less than 200 milliseconds. So that test is also passed. The third test here has failed. It's called very undescriptively my best test. And then there is an expectation here where we expected pm.response.json to be an array. And in fact, if we look at our test results message here, after the name of the test is a vertical pipe with your assertion error message. Postman saying expected this to be an array. So what is this? What's the part that I've highlighted? And if we look at how the test has been written, you can see that it's pointing to this value, which is Postman capturing the response that's come back from the server and interpreting it as JSON. So let's just take a look at that response that came back from the server under body. Right, so we're asserting we expected the response to be an array, but we can see clearly here it's an object. So let's go ahead and update array to be object. And now when we send it again, we can see that our undescriptively named test has passed. Let's move on to the next example called Chai.js assertions. So that expect syntax is Chai.js, a testing framework that is behavior-driven testing. So if you hit send here, again, inspecting the test results, 1 out of 2 tests has passed. So even before, let's just hide this, pretend we didn't see that. Even before we look at what was written under the test tab on the top, we can see that there's 2 tests. So I expect 2 blocks of code that start with pm.test. The first test is going to be named hard-coded to succeed. The second one's going to be hard-coded to fail. And after that vertical pipe is the assertion error. Expected Gouda to equal American. Well, how mysterious. Now let's take a look at that test tab. So the first 2 rows of code are just JavaScript. I've initialized 2 variables. One is called favorite cheese, which the value there is Gouda. And the worst cheese is referencing a collection variable, also called worst cheese. And yes, we have 2 blocks of code here. The first one is hard-coded to succeed, and the second one is hard-coded to fail. Let's walk through those Chai.js assertions. So the first assertion is expected Boolean true to equal Boolean true. Expected Boolean false to equal Boolean false. All of these assertions in this test have passed, and that's how this entire test has passed. So keep going here. Expected string cheese, expected the word cheese, that is string data type, to equal the word cheese, that is string data type. Expected favorite cheese, which is referencing this value here, favorite cheese, to equal, the identical value. And again, expecting this variable favorite cheese to equal that variable favorite cheese. So these are very simplistically written Chai.js assertions. And this entire test has indeed been hard-coded to succeed. Let's look at the test that's labeled hard-coded to fail. So the first few expectations are identically written to our previous one, but there's this one here where we're expecting favorite cheese, again pointing to that value defined up above, to equal worst cheese. In worst cheese, we actually don't know what it is yet unless you're reading the output that Postman has already given us. We don't know what the worst cheese is because if I scroll to the top, we can see that it's defined by referencing, it's defined to a collection variable. So we know that the worst cheese, and in fact, we can validate it here. Let's go to our collection, tab over to variables. There it is. It's American cheese. American cheese is the worst. So let's go back to our call. This one here. And this is the worst way to make a test pass, but just to demonstrate that that is the assertion that is erroring, we can prepend that row of code with 2 forward slashes to comment it out so that the code will not execute. And when we hit send, that was a line of code that was failing. That was not true. Okay, so hopefully that gives you a little taste of how Postman tests are structured. If you've never seen what a Postman test looks like on top or on bottom, that's what it looks like. And let's just go ahead and uncomment out that failing comparison and hit send again. Sometimes this can look like gibberish, but you have a few more tools in your toolkit to understand how to interpret that failing test result. There's some practice if you want to get started on your own. Walk through practice 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are 4 exercises where if you load up the request, once again, you'll be looking in the right sidebar to understand some instructions for what you're going to be stepping through. And then you'll also be inspecting the tests tab on the top, as well as sending your own API calls and inspecting the output. So these are 4 practice challenges in increasing level of difficulty to really cement your knowledge of how to interpret test results in Postman. Let us know what you think.